Andy Austin here with another metaphor analysis. Now this one's going to be quite easy. This has been sent in by Dov. This has been translated from Hebrew. Be aware that not all idioms work across languages. This is a person standing on rocky ground. Left, right, front and back is all rocky ground. However, in Hebrew, rocky ground isn't an idiom that we would have, like when we say he's on the rocks or he's on rocky ground. That doesn't work. So we have a different meaning here. Rocky ground is a literalization, not an idiomatic metaphor. So there's rocks left, right, front and back. So we're on solid ground. In front and above is all foggy. There's a sun up there somewhere. They can't see the sun, but they've got the light because it's foggy. So the person can't clearly see what it is they look forward to. They can't clearly see what's up either. So they're going to be a little bit fogged up. Things won't be clear to them. They're going to have trouble focusing. They don't really know what's in their future. They don't know what they're moving towards. They don't know what their goal is. They don't know what they aspire to. They might have some vague ideas, but it's not going to be very clear. So when talking to this individual, we're going to find that when we start talking future-based stuff with them, they may not be very clear at all. When they start talking retrospectively, so we look at the past, they might be very clear there and have solid foundation to their concept. There is some kind of foundation to what they say, but there's not much there. There's not much variation. Pretty much what's in the background is pretty much what they would expect to be in front, left and right. So this is a person who is on solid ground, albeit rocky ground. They have to take careful steps. They have to step carefully. They would only take one step at a time. Racing ahead here is going to be a problem to them. Now, for those who are going to be attending the level 6 workshop, which we're going to do in Israel, this is one of those features we'll be looking at. You can probably hear our seagull on the roof here. It's dinner time. He's just telling us. He can't move forwards quickly because the path or the ground on which he's on necessitates moving slowly. So there's a degree here of time that's introduced by the quality of the ground that they're on. And that in turn affects the distance of each step. Some people take big steps, some people take little steps. Sometimes you have to tiptoe around. Sometimes you can go striding ahead, take a leap of faith, racing ahead, jumping ahead. Probably not very sensible when you're on rocky ground, and it's rocky ground in all directions, and you can't see clearly where you're going. So now this is an issue about progress, the progress the person is able to make, and the rate of change that is possible for them. There's also, you should notice, the element of business and work here. Work metaphors, employment metaphors, are usually involving transportation. That seems to be the most, when you get a transportation metaphor, it's usually about work. Not always, but more often than not. What kind of vehicle can be driven or could be supplied to the person to be driven in this context? Probably is not very many. So employment opportunities here are massively reduced. Now, in one of the other metaphors, the guy's on a big road, and the road has a fork in it, and he goes off in different ways. He's got a whole array of possibilities here, including a train. But no, not him. No, he's standing still on the travelator, standing still. The travelator, you should have noticed, is of course a transportation metaphor. Hopefully someone's put that in the comment section by now. If not, you know what to do. Now, so the ground the person is on is going to affect the quality of the steps they take and the rate of change they can make. Now, what is the fog? What is the issue of the sun that's bright light, but they can't see the sun? Generally, the sun is the true light. We see something in its true light. Here, that's going to be quite hard. So it's an issue of truth here. If you want to get more stuff on the true light thing and the difference between sunlight and artificial illumination, that's something within the Historia Ilias Itinerus. The link will be below. That's the esoteric arm of the metaphors work. That's where we look at some of the archetypal symbolism going off into cultural and spiritual traditions that have been sort of influential in the culture throughout the ages. So it's not sort of, oh, we sit around meditating and stuff like that. We look at the very common recurring archetypal symbolism that you'll find within religion and through ancient history and so on. Links below. So the fog is predominantly about an atmosphere. and there's different types of atmosphere. The first atmosphere I was introduced to in the early days of doing the metaphors work, I had a guy who, part of his metaphor, I didn't know the stuff that I know now. It was a brown cloud that was surrounding him. And I was completely confused what a brown cloud was. When he said when he looked at it, it was little particles of shit. And that was the brown cloud. I had no idea at all. Later on, he sent me a text message on his way home to say, I've just worked it out. It's a shitty atmosphere. Of course it is. You couldn't be anything else. And then that led into this area of atmospheres and the air that surrounds the person. This is an atmosphere that basically obscures and complicates the progress and what this person aspires to and what they want. Aspiration, we generally regard as forwards. It's about what we want and forwards. But aspire actually means going up. And so this is, because the fog is up as well, this is about the person's aspiration and the progress they're able to make. So for this person to be able to move forwards quicker and more safely, they've got to clear the air. And there's some things that need to be expressed. There are some things that need to happen to clear the air in order to change the atmosphere that this person is moving into. And that's a key detail here. The person, because the fog is above and in front, they're moving into this atmosphere. So the progress the person makes is the very thing that is related to this atmosphere in which they find themselves. So the more progress they make, the chances are the worse this will get. So progress for this person needs to be accompanied with clearing the air. As usual, comment section below. If there's anything that I've missed with this one, anything you can see that are not referenced, please put it in the comments, because again, it's always interesting to hear and see other people's observations, because there's so many things here. Metaphors are so incredibly information dense. There's just layer upon layer upon layer upon layer. This is one which I may well use on the level 6 training we're doing in Israel, simply because this is so much time encoded in this one. It's way outside of the parameters of these YouTube videos. It's sort of more advanced level stuff. So yeah, the link for all these things will be below.